violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Simone highlights a suspect who police say is a fugitive from justice. Take a look.
Thank you for tuning in to Odysse Most Wanted. Up next, a suspect wanted by police on 2 counts of aggravated battery.
Look, she trying not to laugh because she know what this super gremlin did was just dumb, but makes sense at the same time. If you know, like, you can see she's fighting back the smile.
40-year-old Anthony A. Lowry is currently being sought out by police on several charges. On December 8, 2021, bail bondsmen went to retrieve Lowry on 2 active warrants, including domestic battery and failure to appear. When bondsmen made contact with Lowry, he was sitting inside the driver's side of a vehicle on South 8th Street in Monroe.
So he got this dude ended up making bail, all right, on a violent crime. And then when he fails to appear and the bail bondsman, locates him, tries to pull up on him, watch what this man did.
Monroe. The bondsmen announced themselves and attempted to apprehend him, but were unsuccessful.
And see, I'm sorry to stop it, but the bondsmen attempted to apprehend him, which obviously they should have sent a violence interrupter or a therapist to try and talk him down. But anyways, the bail bondsmen, they try and apprehend him and he breaks loose. These super gremlins are very slimy, okay? You're not just going to grapple them up. They could have no training in jiu-jitsu. They could have no training in mixed martial arts. They're going to get out of whatever hold you try and put them on, especially if handcuffs are involved.
Lowry then put the vehicle in reverse and struck both bondsmen with the door, knocking them both to the ground. Lowry fled the scene and has not been seen since. Take a good look at your screen. Have you seen Anthony A. Lowry?
Woo! So he hit the bail bondman with the car. Now he's on the most wanted list. And honestly, he probably would not have had to do much time for, what do they say, aggravated battery and then, the failure to appear. He would have been out in 2 years, maybe less. This is just unnecessary, bruh. But this is the I ain't going back mentality. This is the you got to take me dead or alive mentality in full effect, And I get it, man. The brother's in and out of jail and he don't want to go back and do time that he thinks is going to be long, when all actuality, he doesn't even understand that they giving dudes a slap on the wrist for what you have to kill somebody to get some real time. Nowadays.
He's described as a black male, 6 feet tall, and 200 pounds. Submit your tip to Crime Stoppers.
Well, that's every damn black male then. Shit.
At 318-388-CASH or your local law enforcement agency. Remember, any tip submitted in this case or any other case will always remain anonymous. That's all for now. I'm Chelsea Monet, and I'll see you next week.
I love the cinematics, the music in the background. It's lit.
On Odysse Most Wanted, only on your weather station.
Now, for more local fugitives that have been captured, be sure to pick up a copy of the Justified newspaper at your local.
What your data shows is most of the carjackings are committed by juvenile offenders.
In case after case, we've seen how juveniles have been fueling the city's spike in carjackings. In our series Wrong Turn, we even heard one juvenile offender explain how impulse and peer pressure are driving kids to participate.
Now,
What? Impulse and peer pressure. I mean, at least they did not blame white supremacy. Okay, so we can scratch that one out. It wasn't racism. It wasn't white supremacy. It wasn't the system. Just impulse and peer pressure. Now let's break that down. Let's start with peer pressure. Where did this peer pressure come from? From dudes who are bad kids, right? And if you join in on that act, then it makes you a bad kid too. So peer pressure from your friend group, aka your gang, because even if dudes aren't in a gang, they're still saying, oh, gang. So my group of friends is my gang now. All right. This has become common terminology in the community. And so you don't even have to be Blood or Crip or any other gangs, right? You could just be, hey, my homeboy, this homeboy, that homeboy, we're gang now. All right. This is how it goes in the community. Okay. So peer pressure. You got some dudes around you that are not good dudes, and you're the sum of the 5 people that you hang around. So these are bad guys, and they're coming from broken homes. And let's just say we got a blank slate black kid, you know, could be an educated lame, could be a super gremlin. It you know, it's either way nowadays. All right, you're either going this way or going that way. So you're in the middle. You're getting tempted by your friends. It's peer pressure, all right? This peer pressure is coming from the culture. This peer pressure is coming from the ran off on the plug twice or hit a lick, hit a stain, let me finesse. That's where the peer pressure is coming from, ultimately, all right? Obviously, it's coming from individuals, but those individuals are influenced by the culture, all right? So now we have... what she say? It was, okay, peer pressure and impulse. Now we got impulse. All right. The impulse is already there because you're indoctrinated with the culture. So we got impulse and we have peer pressure, but we're ruling out white supremacy. All right. So that's not the excuse for why these super gremlins are doing what they're doing. All right. We've already ruled that out.
Investigative reporter Mike Pearlstein has compiled the hard statistics to back up those assumptions, along with where carjackers are most likely to strike.
We've seen the alarming videos. We've heard from frustrated victims.
Woo! And that Santa Claus looking glider is lucky. Lucky. He better be, you know, thanking God or whoever he prays to that this super gremlin right here did not air him out for touching on and trying to apprehend his friend. He got the semi-automatic, the AK pistol, and he's actually aiming this time. So that's a scary sight.
Videos. We've heard from frustrated victims. Now, through NOPD carjacking data compiled through a public records request, we have a much clearer picture of who's stealing the cars and where. The statistics for 2021, a record for carjackings, show that juvenile suspects arrested outnumber adults by more than 2 to 1.
Woo! Juveniles outnumber adults by more than 2 to 1. So you got these super gremlins who are teenagers who have no regard for human life out here carjacking and whatnot, and they don't care. They don't care. We already know about the woman who got dragged or drug, whatever, however you want to say it, at the Costco. And the dude who did that had, you know, previously killed a 12-year-old black kid. So these super gremlins don't care.
And about 2/3 of the stolen vehicles are quickly recovered.
What that suggests is that the motive was not to sell the car or bring it to a chop shop and salvage parts from it. It's transportation.
That transportation, says Rafael Goyeneche of the Metropolitan Crime Commission, often carries young offenders to their next crime.
And when either the car gets too hot or it runs out of gas, they leave the car and they steal and carjack another car.
Wow, they don't even got gas money.
It tells you that they don't have a game plan for profiting off of what they're doing.
All right, y'all heard him. That was Johnny now. That was Johnny. Is John a sellout because he said they don't have a game plan? They just out here willy-nilly robbing and don't know, you know, what their next meal is? Of course not. Of course not. This is a brother who is a criminologist, a SUNO. It looks like son criminologist. He studies super gremlins. So let's just keep it like that.
For what they're doing.
The highest number of carjackings by a wide margin were here in eastern New Orleans, the 7th Police District. The East was hit 74 times last year, and at the other end of the spectrum, the fewest, 8, happened in Algiers, followed by the 8th District, the French Quarter and CBD, with 14. Citywide, the solve rate was 43%. Car recoveries are much higher.
Solve rate is 43%. So they're only catching 43% of the people who did it. They're only catching 43% of the people who did it. They're getting the cars back, but they're not. They don't even know who's doing it.
More than 90% in the 2nd and 3rd districts. The age of the offenders leads SUNO criminologist John Penny to believe that the solution has to include families.
Wow, look at how many guns they pulled out on that boy, man. It's disgusting, man. Hey, sisters, come get y'all kids, man. Come get y'all badass kids. Look, all of them busting slack. All of them sagging their pants. See, me personally, I'm at the age where I don't trust super gremlins who sag. Me personally.
As it does the criminal justice system.
It just begs us to look at what is going on in the family structure that we have in the city.
A tough task, but the path to saving a kid goes through the family. Mike Pearlstein, Eyewitness News.
The statistics also show many of the suspects were booked in multiple carjackings as well as robberies and thefts, supporting the evidence that carjackings often take place as part of a crime spree.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
A frightening wave of violence continues on the streets of New Orleans.
Leave these kids and the families alone because we don't have nothing to do with this.
Tuesday night, someone opened fire outside a home in the 1300 block of Lazardi Street in the lower 9th Ward. This little boy, 2-year-old Denali Crawford, was hit in the leg in what his grandparents described as a barrage of about 8 gunshots.
Lord have mercy. They shooting the babies. I'm telling you guys, these super gremlins don't care. Women, children, anybody can get it when you encounter a super gremlin on demon time.
Lynn Nelson said the fact that someone shot her grandbaby is heartbreaking.
Please, y'all have to stop. These are kids that are being involved now, and it's hurting everybody.
The child's grandfather, Amos Crawford, said Denali was sitting on his mother's lap as she was talking with a friend inside a car in front of their home. Then someone fired shots in their direction.
When she finally opened the door, her and my grandson, they ran to the porch, and that's when we realized he was hit in the leg.
Crawford said it appears the bullets were meant for his daughter's friend.
Lord, man, and it doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter who the bullets were meant for, but this is what I gotta say. It's meant for your daughter's friend. Who is your daughter dating? Who is this young man that your daughter is dating, her friend? Who is this guy that he has people pulling up and shooting your house up? The father is in the home and still he's not directing his daughter in the way that she should go. You don't bring no super gremlin to the crib. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If he's sagging his pants, nope, you can't date him. Facts. I mean, these dudes are shooting so much. They love shooting. Send them off to World War. Send them off to the Ukraine. You know what I mean? For real. Send they behinds, these reckless super gremlins, send them off to the Ukraine. Since they love shooting.
She finally opened the door. Her and my grandson, they ran to the porch. And that's when we realized he was hit in the leg.
Crawford said it appears the bullets were meant for his daughter's friend.
From what he said, it was somebody that he didn't know that was shooting at him, so we don't know if they followed him here.
Cap, he know exactly who the ops is. Come on, you ain't gonna tell me this dude don't know who the ops is, bruh.
Patricia Santiago lives down the street.
I'm very concerned because we got children that live around here, and I'm a mother and a grandmother, and I have kids that live around here.
The little boy's family and their neighbors say it's time for people to put the guns down, put differences aside, and for this community to come together.
And that's where you're wrong, bruh. That's where you're wrong, man. This ain't no community. It's a community on demon time.
We got to stay prayed up. You know, it's just too much is going on in the city.
You can't even go to your car. You getting carjacked. Right. You can't walk to the store. You can't bring your kids to school. It's happening in schools all over. On your job. What we supposed to do?
Is she a sellout? I'm just asking. For the community, is she a sellout because she says you can't even live around these super gremlins? You can't even live around them without getting your carjacked. You can't even go to school. Think about the brother, the athlete at Edna Carr. I forgot his name, but was killed. Can't even go to school. You can't even be an athlete. You can't have dreams in the community. You can't be a mathematician in the community. You can't be nothing. Can't do nothing. If you stay inside, you got to dodge bullets in your own home. It's a problem. And it's not white supremacy that's doing it. It's these super gremlins on demon time.
The grandparent said Denali was doing much better and was expected to be released from the hospital soon. It appears the bullet only grazed his leg. Paul Murphy, Eyewitness News.
If you have any information about the shooting, you're urged to call the NOPD or Crime Stoppers.
Well, you can't do that. Remember, this is the community. No snitching. No snitching policy for this young man right here. No snitching. Nobody better say anything or they're a snitch. That's the street code for you. This is what your street code is doing. This is what it's doing. It's embarrassing. It's disgusting. It's repugnant. I mean, it's an abomination. This is what your street code is doing. I want you to look at this young man. Little baby. Shot in the leg. Already caught a bullet. He gotta grow up in that community. Is he even gonna make it to 18? I pray he does, man. For real. I pray he overcomes all of this. But you can't snitch on these super gremlins, even if they're on demon time.
Little soon. It appears the bullet only grazed his leg. Paul Murphy, Eyewitness News.
If you have any information about the shooting, you're urged to call the NOPD or Crime Stoppers.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.